Hello, bachelors and bachelorettes. As some of you know, I'm getting married later this year, and this is me rubbing it in. Just kidding. You too can find love. Anyways, due to the upcoming wedding, I wanted to learn about some traditions and why we have them. Now you get to know too. So buckle up and get ready for this roller coaster of evil spirits and eternal happiness because we are going to be talking about traditions of the clothing and accessories, the wedding party, and the ceremony itself. The first clothing that everyone is excited to see, and is the most expensive, is the wedding dress. The wedding dress that had the most impact to start a tradition was worn by Queen Victoria in the 1840s. The press took so many pictures, and it got to so many people that it was spread globally. It was an elegant white royal ball gown that could light up a room. That wasn't the first wedding dress. Mary, the Queen of Scots, wore the first white wedding dress. The only issue is that during that time, the color white was the color of mourning in France. Her people gave her a lot of grief for it. Get it? Okay. A white dress would also symbolize having your virginity, innocence, and feeling of happiness. Now, it just symbolizes a new bride. And what's a bride without her veil? Traditionally, a bride wears a veil for arranged marriage purposes. The families were afraid that the groom would call off the wedding if he saw the bride and wasn't a fan of her looks. So, that brings us the veil. You may have heard the term something blue. Blue is actually the true color for purity and fidelity. If you can recall a statue or painting of the Virgin Mary, she is usually depicted with a blue robe draped over her, which is the origin of blue being the color for purity. Lastly, we have the ring. Rings are a never-ending circle representing eternity. The same can be said for diamonds, except they represent eternity because diamonds are the hardest gems, so they don't get worn down as easily as other gems. In ancient Egypt, they believed that the fourth finger, the ring finger, was the only digit that had a vein leading straight to the heart. Even the cruelest pharaoh was down bad. Our next topic is the wedding party. What is a bride without her entourage? Somebody's got to keep the evil curses away. Let me elaborate. In ancient Rome, they believed that evil spirits would come to curse the bride and ruin her marriage because they were jealous with the idea of love. So, how do you prevent the evil spirits from finding the bride? You shove a bunch of girls into the same dress to help her blend in. If the spirits did find her, the couple would be cursed forever. But that's not really what they're there for anymore. They are the bride's best buds and greatest supporters. Groomsmen, on the other hand, had nothing to do with curses. See, back then, brides were a hot commodity, literally and figuratively. Other bastards were constantly trying to steal the brides from the groom to have them for themselves. So, the groomsmen were warriors that the groom would hire to protect his bride. The groom had to pick well, because if they crumbled, that would make for a pretty short ceremony. Then we have, you guessed it, the flower girl and the ring bearer. The flower girl is just that cute little girl that throws petals before the bride walks down the aisle. It hasn't always been petals. They used to throw wheat on the ground. Wheat was a symbol of well-being and good fortune for the future couple. It was also a wish for fertility in their bloodline. The ring bearer is actually not all about bearing the rings. That pillow that they hold is a symbol of wealth in Victorian times. Couldn't tell you why, they just really loved their pillows. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Here are the traditions of the ceremony. Have you ever heard the expression tying the knot? That came from the Romans when they would perform hand fasting. Hand fasting is when they would tie the couple's hands together during the ceremony and not untie them until it's over. If they can make it tied together for 40 minutes to an hour, they can last a lifetime. Oh? What's this? Rain on a wedding day? What a bummer. That's actually not the case. There are some old-timey movies that show guests throwing rice at the couple to symbolize rain, showing that they are showered with prosperity and fertility, just like the wheat with the flower girl since they are both grains. Lastly, there's the cans. I never understood this one until I researched it. Let's hang garbage from our car and watch it bounce. I, for one, just recycle cans. Anyways, this tradition stems from the French celebration, the Charivari. The night before the wedding, everyone would go out into the town and bang pots and pans together to make enough noise to scare away the evil spirits. Evil spirits wouldn't be very good company on a honeymoon, which is where our lovely couple is headed now. That brings me to the end of the presentation. I hope you all learned something new or at least found it amusing. If I got a laugh or a brief exhale out of your nose, I see that as a win. Here are all my sources, and I did make all the images except for the car at the end. Your girl got tired. Anyways, thanks for watching.